Hello, good morning and welcome back to our renovation project here in Portugal, where we are laying yet another Limecrete floor. This is the last third of the building. There are two rooms, the one that I'm standing in now, and one on the other side of this stone wall in the background. So they're a bit smaller than the ones that we've done before, but they're a bit more awkward because there's a load of pipe work in the floor and the rooms are quite small and dark. So we're going to do our best to take you along for the ride and show you as much of it as we can. We'll also try and mix it up a bit and show you some different things as well, because we have done this before and we like to try and make it as interesting as possible. But before we get started, there is a bit of drama to fill you in on, so let's go and talk about that first.
So you may remember before we had some problems with the plumbing and we needed to rip up a part of the Limecrete floor so that we could swap out the pipe and specifically the join. So we did that. And we connected everything up, and then we decided to test our wastewater and discovered 3 or 4 leaks with the system. So we decided to replace it all.
Can you explain why there were leaks?
Yeah.
Other than the fact that we are, not professional plumbers.
Well, that's obvious. Let me... So this is the pipe that we originally used, which we bought from a local provider. It's this type that has the recess for the seals. And it's really thin.
Yeah,
but it's not actually the thickness of the pipe that's an issue. It's these seals don't seal. So we had 3 or 4 places where this, or some of the fittings, particularly the Y fittings, they leaked. And we could, when we were inserting them, we didn't have to really try very hard to put the pipes together, and they came apart really easily. So we happened to be somewhere else for some other reason, and we went to a different plumbing store, and we picked up a couple of fittings because we were a couple of fittings short. And when we got them home, the difference in quality and thickness of that made us realize, oh, so these are really good fittings, and the ones we get locally are not. And then we decided, well, if we're going to go back to that shop to get some better fittings, why don't we get better pipe, or see if they have better pipe. And the difference is quite staggering. So this is the pipe.
Let's see if I can...
Yeah, see if you can get a better shot of that.
So the top one is the cheaper pipe. It's about 2 millimeters thick, I would say. The bottom one is more like 4 or 5. It's almost double the thickness.
Yeah,
it's quite crazy. And
it was the same with the fittings. The local ones are much thinner. The seal part is far superior. These ones are sturdy. We did a 160-kilometer round trip to go and get new pipe, all new fittings. We dug up the rest of the pipe that was under the Limecrete floor so that we could swap that pipe out for a new pipe, put all new fittings, redid all the plumbing, retested it all, no leaks.
Yay!
So then, now we're happy. I also tested the 2 water lines. Because they were exposed, I was like, just in case they got damaged when we were taking up the Limecrete floor, I did a quick test on those and they held pressure, no worries. So now I'm very confident that all the plumbing that is going under the floor is good. I'm much happier with this thicker pipe because it will be more durable. And we had to get some, in Portuguese they're called tampas, these end pieces. What do you call them in English? End stop?
It's like a bung or an end cap.
So it's a small piece and it's got a screw in top with a seal in it.
There we go. Very nice.
So I needed these in order to be able to seal the ends of all of the runs so that we could put some water in and test it. But they don't come with a female connector on them. So I just took pieces like this from the cheaper pipe, the thinner pipe, and heated it and
made it with a hairdryer.
With a hairdryer, which I researched online, and pushed it in, then pulled it out and cemented it, PVC cemented it. So we stuck these in all of the ends of the pipes run to do that. But I also use this old pipe to make some unions in exactly the same way by kind of melting it with a hairdryer, pushing in a couple of parts. So like a union or coupler. And it works really well for that, and it heats really well. This thicker pipe does not heat at all. I tried it and it doesn't work. So some use...
Not with a hairdryer.
Not with a hairdryer, no. Probably with a blowtorch, but... so some use has come of the old pipe, and we will use that where necessary to create these kind of bits and pieces. But yeah, it's been a very frustrating couple of weeks of digging up parts, redoing plumbing, testing, finding leaks.
Driving for hours on end.
Yeah, so we did 2 of these trips. One trip we were doing to find something for the underfloor heating, and we just picked up a couple of parts. And then the second time we did a dedicated 160-kilometre round trip just to get pipe and fittings. There's been lots of comments about putting air admittance valves along the runs, which I will absolutely be doing. At 3 of the biggest chain box store type places that I went to, none had air admittance valves. They're just not really a thing here. And that's the same with these tamper ends. Had to order these online, and I think I'll have to do the same with the air admittance valves. The things that we're used to doing and that people suggest, particularly if you're from the States, the UK, Australia, Canada, it's just not how they do things here. And so those things are not available easily. They may be available, but certainly nowhere near us. We've hunted high and low for some things and asked in building groups, and they're just not available, which also makes it really difficult. So yeah, it's been frustrating. That's the drama. Thankfully, fingers crossed, it is over. We can now put the floor down, and that's the end of it.
Good. Let's get on with it.
We need to go and get some lacquer for tomorrow, not for today. And last time I went to pick some up, they said, can you bring the pallets back? So that's what we're going to go and do. Road trip. Tudo bem?
Tudo bem.
Tem os paletes para voltar.
Obrigada.
So they only have the lacquer in the small bags. It's the same stuff, but it's more plastic, which is not ideal. But we do want to get this floor down, so we're going to get 1.5 pallets of lacquer in small bags. That was fairly painless and only 10 euros more expensive than doing it the big bag way, so not a big deal. Let's go and lay a Limecrete floor. So this pickup went a lot smoother than the last pickup that I did, not for lacquer, but last week we went to get some sand because we've got some pointing and plastering and rendering to do with some lime. And I went to a different store, which is a bit closer, and I picked up a ton of sand in the back of this 30-year-old truck, and it did not go smoothly. I don't think I managed to get above 20 kilometers an hour on the drive home. Fortunately, it's only 2 kilometers away, so it wasn't that bad, but it was a pretty terrifying experience. There was lots of noise, lots of weird smells. We made it, but I think I found the limit of this old truck. 1.5 cubic meters of lacquer only weighs 500 kilos, so no problem. So that was about an hour's round trip. Sirta is our closest big town. It's about a 30-minute drive in the truck at least. So let's see what Kylie managed to get done in about an hour.
I called out, but
Hi.
I called out to you, but you had your ears on.
Yes.
How are you getting on?
It's very difficult, this room.
Oh, good. So it is very dark in here. I don't know if you can see much, but it looks like almost half the room done already, which is fantastic.
So there we go, that was fun. It did not fill me with joy, but it does fill me with joy that it's done. There is one small problem though, and you might be able to hear it. Normally my microphone on the camera has a little fuzzy thing on the end of it to stop the wind noise. What are you laughing at? And it is no longer attached to the camera. So I imagine it is buried in the floor somewhere, because it looks quite similar to a large piece of lacquer. So I apologise for any bad sound throughout the rest of this video. Bad jokes? No, I'm not apologising for those, but any bad sound, I'm very sorry. Good morning. It is the next day, and maybe it's not a good morning because something had been bothering me overnight. Why did we have a whole bag of the large lacquer left over? Now, we are famously not very good at estimating materials, and the last two times we laid a Limecrete floor, we ran out of stuff early. So to begin with, we thought, oh, maybe we just over-ordered, we overestimated to be on the safe side. But then when we came in this morning, just to double check everything was in order before we start pouring Limecrete, we did some measurements, and we did some measurements again, and we did some measurements again. And it looks like we are maybe 3 centimeters, 30 mil of the loose fill layer of lacquer too short. So when we were putting in all the material yesterday, the laser must have been not in the ideal position, or was just off or something. And we have less than our desired 20 centimeters or 200 mils of lacquer in our capillary break insulation loose fill layer. So the short version of that is it means we need to take up all the geotextile that we put down on the top here to enclose that layer and pour some more loose fill material in. What that probably also means is we won't get this whole thing finished today, which is maybe a blessing in disguise, because last time we did a whole day of pouring Limecrete, we were then out of action for like a week. So we're going to be starting by undoing and redoing, and then we'll get to doing the subslab. I'm going to take over that.
There's a missing bucket.
There's a missing bucket?
There's a missing bucket.
Okay, sure we can find it.
Won't be as bad as we thought.
Sorry?
Won't be as difficult as we thought.
Oh, that's good. I hate difficult. Although we always seem to make life difficult for ourselves.
We make mistakes. It's human nature.
Yes.
What's funny is something else I was thinking to myself yesterday was, how are we going to make this video interesting and different? Because it's basically the same as the last 2 laying a Limecrete floor videos that we did. Well, I guess this is the answer, but maybe not. And who knows what else will go wrong in the next...
Oh no, don't preempt it. 2.5 buckets.
So we really weren't out by much.
No.
We're just perfectionists.
No, we want to make sure we have correct capillary break or isolation.
And insulation values.
And insulation. Exactly. Get through a 30mm out and then your whole design is screwed in terms of the desired effectiveness.
Well, this is also a lot easier than pouring an extra 30 centimetres, 30 mil of
Well, just not the pouring, the carrying.
the carrying, yes.
Of course, I'm just doing this small amount though. It doesn't really matter. Can you pass me a bucket?
Big one, small one. Full one, empty one. What do you want? Around here.
And pick that board up, move it back, and then pull this back.
How's that?
Yeah, just need to make sure the laser can go over it.
And I'll turn it around for you. How's that?
Okay.
I'm going to just double check the measurement off the floor. I'll get a tape measure.
No, that's correct. I already did that one. It's an easier way of doing it.
That's an easier way of doing it. Got it. I'm going to take this board, or you can lift it up to me. Yep, perfect. Nice one. Okay.
Right, that's about right. tab on there?
This one. And the other one.
And do it in this corner when you do it.
Just let me know when you want it. It's very dark in there. Measuring up the next project.
I have to put a step in here. They're going to be very shallow steps.
Or one big one.
There's too much to go from here to there.
Yeah, I agree. Can we take a moment to revel in your achievements? You managed to lay a whole floor in the time it took me to do a small strip.
That ring is very difficult. Surprisingly, I thought that around the pipes would be difficult, but it wasn't.
It was just the whole room.
Yeah, it's working in a really small circle, semicircle, no, arc, and then kind of backing yourself out. And the hardest thing is the getting up and the down and the moving the boards and the balancing on the boards. The actual putting the Limecrete in place and kind of patting it down. I mean, obviously at the end of the day I'm broken and that was very difficult this bit here, but that's nothing compared to the up and down off the knees, balancing on the boards, trying to move the boards while balancing on a board and crouching.
Yeah.
And carrying buckets while balancing on boards. I'll be glad to work in this room tomorrow because it's bigger and has more space to put boards around.
Let's see if you say that at the end of tomorrow.
Well, we're not starting the day by spending hours correcting a previous day's mistake, so it should be a little bit easier.
Famous last words.
Oh, it's a warm start to the morning already, but welcome back to the next day. We were planning to have a day off today, and so we had a small celebration last night after finishing the first room, perhaps a slightly bigger than planned celebration. And we planned to have the day off, but then we woke up and thought, should we just get it done? Let's get it done. So that is exactly what we're going to do today. More of the same, mix, shovel, bucket, pour, etc, etc. And although we've only just started today, the end is in sight, which is very exciting indeed. I think what we're going to do is just stick a time lapse on so you can enjoy watching the process of us finish this Limecrete floor in the final room of the downstairs of the house. And then we'll probably talk a bit more at the end because that's what we tend to do. Right, let's get to work. So it's done. That's about all there is to say, I think, but it's done.
I have one thing to say. If you've ever wondered what it feels like to pound wet, sticky balls on your knees for about 7 hours, let me tell you, it's so exhausting. I am so tired. It was hot, sweaty, very mucky work. So if you can get out of pounding balls, I would highly recommend that you not do it. It's hard work. And first you've got to carry the balls and then you've got to pound them. It's...
I must say, when I did a bit of it yesterday, it was surprisingly physical.
Yeah.
Like, it looks really easy on the video. I've watched you do it many times on video and then re-editing and time-lapsing and what have you. But there's nothing beats doing it for real.
It's like that thing, you can watch someone swim, run a marathon, and think, can't be so hard. And then you try and do it yourself and you realise, geez, I've got to be able to breathe underwater and I've got to be able to breathe when I run. This is like an all-over body workout for 7 hours. It's surprisingly physical and I'm surprisingly exhausted every time I do it, even though I know what it will feel like. I'm still always surprised that I'm so exhausted at the end of it.
I think yesterday, if I remember rightly, you said something like, tomorrow's not going to be so bad because it's a bigger room that is more spacious and...
Well, I forgot that it's like a sauna in there because it's got the red brick walls and the direct sun on it. The other rooms are much cooler, so it was physical and really, really, really hot. Yeah. It was a hot day as well. It was actually, I think, a mistake. It was 34 degrees today. And the other rooms, the stone rooms, are much cooler. So probably would have been 24, 25. That last room
is as warm as it is outside.
Yeah, it was much hotter. I couldn't work as fast because it was so hot. I even had a fan on, it was very hot. So yeah, I'm glad we didn't try and finish that yesterday with the other one.
The funny thing is that almost a year ago, we dug out Kylie, I don't do digging, she dug out the 2 rooms that we've just put the floor in, and the plan a year ago was to just dig it out and lay a Limecrete floor. But then, do the plumbing first, of course. But it's been like a 1-year detour to do all of the groundworks outside, the guttering, the drainage, the French drain, all of that kind of stuff. And these Limecrete floors were a lot more work than are they more work than we anticipated? Probably not, but when you're looking at a schedule on paper, it's really easy to go, oh yeah, so we'll just do that, and then that, and then that. We'll just do is like the worst thing you could say for any kind of big project. Anyway, I think it's time to wrap it up. We probably need to go and wash. My hair is all crazy, I'm sure. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we have enjoyed finishing this project. We'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye.
I don't think I've ever seen you so tired.
Yeah, that's three days in a row of this stuff.
Yeah, 3 days of pounding balls.
Yeah. And I think we were tired before we started.
Yeah.
So.
And we were supposed to have a day off.
Yeah, we were going to take a week off. Never
But we did this instead.
Never happens.
Yeah, story of my life.
Hello and welcome back to the building site Hello and welcome back to our building site here. Hello and welcome back to our renovation project here in Portugal, where we've got another episode of laying a Limecrete floor. So I guess this is laying a Limecrete floor yet again. It's going to be fairly similar to some of the other videos that we've done, but we'll try and make it as interesting as we can and show you a couple of extra bits and pieces as well. Oh, and by the sound of that, something is either breaking or Kylie is approaching. better. So that's where my microphone ended up. So there we go. That was fun.